Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife review for you. Today, we have the brand new, and I mean literally brand new. You can order it now. I'm putting this video up at the exact same time that it is going live on the HEA Designs site for pre-order, which is 5 p.m. on Eastern Time on July 29th. This is the HEA Designs Falcon. Quite a departure for them, honestly. I've always liked a lot of their stuff, but it is a bit on the crazier side. This is definitely not. This is just a modern slip joint S35VN. This is the full titanium version. They also have versions with carbon fiber scales, a few different color options, a few different blade finish options. The titanium ones get the stonewash blade. The carbon fiber, I believe, has the satin blade. Maybe there's some mix and match there, but that's what I saw when I looked at it. $229 S35VN, mostly titanium or titanium and carbon fiber, depending on which one you choose. Pretty darn cool little slip joint. I do have to say, you guys know I don't review a whole lot of slip joints. This one truly impresses me. Very, very pleased with it. Spoiler alert. If you just want to skip this and go ahead right now and pre-order, there's a link down below. You can go do that. Pretty awesome little knife. Does it we'll talk about this more in the action, but it's a lot of modern slip joints are, pretty weak pulls. This is not. This feels almost like a GEC or something like that. Maybe a little less spring tension than that, but not much. And just a great looking design. Love me a Warney. Great Warncliffe blade. Really, really cool and great company to deal with. Awesome dude that runs it. It's pretty much a one-man show, but he's an awesome guy. And yeah, you get all kinds of cool swag with it. You get a cloth and all kinds of stickers and all kinds of stuff. That HEA does very good with their packaging. But let's give you some stats and some size comparisons before we get much farther. Pretty good size knife for a slip joint. We'll even it up here a little bit, but not very large overall. You're looking at a blade length of 2.8 inches. You have an overall length of 6.15 inches. Blade thickness, pretty thin, 0.10 inches. Handle thickness, also fairly thin, 0.47 inches. And a weight, according to my scales, of 2.53 ounces. For this one, I assume the carbon fiber is going to weigh just a little bit less. I don't think it'll be dramatically so, because as you can see, these are removable scales. So it's just the scales that are titanium or carbon. Let's do some size comparisons. Let's bust out a couple of our usuals. We have the full-size Benchmade Griptilian, and we will use, for this one, I guess we'll use the mini grip. It is insolent and will not stand up. You can see about the length of a mini grip. So you can see it's a pretty good size knife for a traditional. I'm not a big fan of large traditionals. This is kind of on the largish end of what I like for traditionals. And then we'll bring out just your Spyderco Paramilitary too, because a lot of you guys probably have these. And the Para 3 happens to be the color matching Maximet version. Just a little bit smaller than the Para 3. And then to bring out a couple things that are a bit more applicable. Like I said, I'm not a huge slip joint guy, so I don't have a ton laying around. But let's bust out. This is the Case Mini Trapper. This is one that's definitely stuck around for a really long time. I do like that a whole lot. And a Swiss Army knife that every time I say the name, I get it wrong. So it's a Wader or a Pioneer or something like that. It's either average mid-size Swiss Army knife. So very similar in overall length to both of those, just a little bit larger than either of them. Now, as far as the looks on this goes, I asked for this color and initially regretted it because I looked at some of the pictures of the carbon ones and some of those carbon ones look pretty awesome. But you know what? Once I got it, I like this. The carbon is just a plain carbon texture. This has this kind of jigged bone texture. It looks a bit more traditional. I do like that a whole lot. I'm glad I got the one I got is what I'm saying. And I like the kind of monochrome sort of finish on the blade and the handle sort of match. And I do kind of like that a lot. So if you want something a little flashier, a little prettier, get the carbon one. But if you just want something that's, like it's more monochrome, less obtrusive, less noticeable, I guess, less brash, yeah, go with this. It looks awesome. Really, really cool. And I cannot complain with the way it looks. The little HEA milled into to the blade. Maybe if you're a real hardcore traditional person, you might not like that, but I like it. And then it's got it backwards on this side, which, all right. But I like it. I do like the way it looks a whole lot. The blade on this thing is outstanding. It is just a flat grind. It doesn't look hollow grind, but it isn't. Maybe it's a little bit, but it's really, it might be a little bit. But if it is, it's not much. You can see it doesn't go up very high. Yeah, I guess it is a little bit, but it doesn't go up very high. But only 18 thousandths behind the edge and very thin blade stock and razor freaking sharp out of the box. It cuts very, very well. I assume this is made by HEA. I'm not positive about that. I apologize in advance if I'm wrong about that. Definitely feels like a HEA, and it definitely feels like a HEA blade, which means good things. It means it's probably very slicey. For a Warney, it's got and especially for a Warney traditional, it has a very robust tip on it. You can actually do some stuff with this, especially combined with that stiffer back spring, which we'll talk about. This is definitely a knife you can actually work and do things with. Absolutely. This is not pocket jewelry. This is an actual usable, really, really usable blade on this thing. Ergonomics are outstanding. No pocket clips, so we don't have to talk about hot spots or anything, but you get just enough grip with this jigged texture on here. Again, another reason why I like it. And your finger does want to land on the top of the blade, but this spring is tight enough that I'm not worried about slamming it down on my finger or anything. And the blade is, pretty thin, but it's still a comfortable place for your finger to land. Again, the ergonomics just scream, this is a knife that wants to be used. It definitely does. And I love it for that. It's really cool. Now, as far as the carry goes, I mean, it's traditional. It is small enough. You can just drop it in the bottom of your pocket. I don't like to do that. It is small enough for fifth pocket carry. You can definitely do that. But how I've been carrying it is in a small slip. And I'm going to try to remember to link to this down below, because every time I show you guys ask about it. This is a Pocket Pens slip. They're like $35. It's got a little spot for one of their little plastic pens too, or any other pen. Pretty much anything fits in there. I carry a Machine Era in there as well. It fits in here perfectly, and that's how I've been carrying it. And I've had this for a weekish, and I've had it in my pocket almost every day. I have had it in my pocket every day. Because I have this little slip now, I just like carrying it in the little slip. So it's nice that it's a good, like I said, some modern tradition, or some traditionals, period, that I've been looking at that I like the design of are just huge. I don't like a big traditional. This is a very good size, just a very good carry size. 2.73 ounces ain't the lightest thing in the world for a small-ish mid-sized traditional, but it's got that full tie. It feels really solid. I forgive it for that. I think it carries extremely well. As far as the action goes, like I said, the walk and talk on this is like a GEC. It's very stiff. I don't do this on many traditionals, and I feel confident enough. The half stop is strong enough. Don't do this, by the way. Don't close your knife like this. You might chop yourself, but I feel perfectly comfortable doing it because the half stop is that good. But don't do it. I mostly, close it like that, like a normal human. As far as opening it, it doesn't have just a tiny little nail neck you got to dig your fingernail into. It has this very long, kind of fuller cut out, so you just pinch grip, open it, which is really, really nice. It's super easy to open, super easy to close. You can sort of one hand open this. It's a pain in the ass. I would not suggest doing it, but yeah, if you wanna, you can, but that's not how you're normally going to do it. Plan on two-hand opening it, but if your one hand is just incapacitated or, removed by a Sith Lord, you can open it one-handed if you must, which is pretty nice. And overall, it's kind of hard to have a lot. And like I said, I'm not a traditional knife expert, but this is definitely what I would put in the modern traditional category, or modern slip joint, whatever you want to call it. But I really like this thing. $229. Is that pushing the end of reasonable? Yeah, it probably is. But once you get it in your hand, it feels like a $229 knife all day long. It honestly does once it's in your hand, which I know is kind of feels like a cop-out, but I'm just being honest. In my hand, I think it's worth every penny. I have not held the carbon fiber one. That may even be even nicer. Maybe it'll feel a little bit cheaper than this. I don't really know. I prefer the aesthetic of that kind of jigged pattern. Like I said, you can get different anodization colors. Let me look here. I do have their site open in front of me, so I can look and see if you can get it with a blue ano, which is just on the bolster portion here. And I believe there was a bronze. I could be wrong about that. It doesn't have the order button up yet, so I can't tell. No, it's just a gray or blue, but then you can get it with titanium or carbon fiber. So pretty darn cool. I will say the blue in this jigged tie looks pretty darn cool. Like if I would have made any change, it might have been that. But I like the monochrome look. But the blue with this jigged tie, it looks pretty awesome. So again, there's a link down below. You can get them now. Highly suggest you go get it. It's a pre-order, but you can go now and go get them. I don't know when the delivery time is, but HEA is pretty good. I bet it's not too far away. Hope you guys have enjoyed this, and go check these out if you're remotely interested in a fairly pricey, mid-size, modern traditional. Yeah, I don't like slip joints that much, and I'm keeping this one around for sure. I've been Brian. Have a good one.